Before X, we had Twitter with its iconic bird logo full of life. Well, in this video, I'll be making a realistic version of the Twitter logo. So to see the exciting process and stunning final result, stay with me till the end and let's hop straight into Photoshop. Okay, so to make a realistic version of the Twitter logo, I have the logo right here. Let's import the image of our first bird. So I have this image and I'm going to use it for the head. So let's flip it horizontally and then let's make a selection of the bird. So I'm going to come to select and then subject. And then with a nice selection around the bird, let's create a mask for the layer. I'm going to place the bird inside the logo. So I'm going to put it over here and then let's clip it to the logo. I'm going to change the position of the bird's eye. So I'm going to use the lasso tool to select out the eye and then let's place it on a new layer. Now I'm going to make a selection of the eye again. Let's use content aware fill to get rid of it. Okay, so this looks fine. Just click OK. Now let's change the position of the eye of the bird. So I'm going to position it this way so that it looks towards that direction. Let's create a mask for it and then I'm going to fade it out into the image perfectly. So let's use the brush tool. I'm going to make sure the flow is a very low amount and then let's change the brush to a soft brush. And now I'm going to fade out the eye into the image. Okay, this looks beautiful. Now I'm going to use a copy of the image to fill up the remaining portion. So let's flip this image horizontally. And then I'm going to use it to fill up this part and then let's clip this image to the logo as well. Now let's change it to a smart object. Let's create a mask for it and then click Ctrl+I to invert it. So I'm going to use the brush tool to fill up that portion of the image. So just going to fill it up this way. Now let's use a soft brush with a very low flow to fade it out nicely into the image. Now let's change the color of the bird. So I'm going to use a hue and saturation adjustment for this. I'm going to clip it to the bird and then let's change the color to sort of a blue color. This looks very good. Now I don't want this white portion here, so to fill up that part, I have this image over here. I'm going to make a selection of this one as well. And then I'm going to align the image onto our Twitter bird. So this looks very good. I'm going to clip it to the logo. And then let's invert the mask. And then with the brush tool, I'm going to paint it back to fill up the bottom part of the bird. Let's change the color a little bit to a more blue color. Yes, this color for the bird looks nice. Let's increase the size of the pigeon a little bit. This is okay. And then now let's continue painting. Let's fade it out nicely into the image. Okay, so our bird is coming out very nicely. Let's change the tail of the bird as well. So for the bird's tail, I have this image as well. We are going to select this out as well. And let's place this bird over here and align it with the tail of our bird. Click enter and then let's clip it to the logo as well. Now let's fade it out into the image. So let's create a mask for it and then with a soft brush, let's paint it into the image. Now let's give the bird some beaks. So for that, I have a nice image over here. I'm going to use this particular image for the beaks. First of all, let's select out the bird as we've done so far. Let's convert it to a smart object and then let's add a mask to it. Now, I'm going to flip this bird vertically and I'm going to use the top part of its beak for the image. And then let's hide the image for now. Let's paint the beak back nicely. Now let's use the same beak for the bottom part of our image. So I'm going to place this one on the bottom part of the beak and then let's invert this mask as well. And then I'm going to paint this back as well. Very good. Now our bird has some very nice beaks on it. Now let's create the wings. So for the wings, I've got this beautiful image of a bird and I'm going to flip it horizontally, and then let's make a selection of this bird as well. Now let's place the wing on the image very nicely. So I'm going to increase the size. So this looks very nice. Let's clip it to the logo for now, and then let's clean the unwanted parts of the bird. So I'm going to clean this part of the bird which I do not need. Let's place this image over here so that it matches the perspective of that side as well. So I'm going to place it this way, and then let's get rid of the unwanted parts as well. Now let's create the last part of the wing. Let's place it this way as well. Let's rotate it a little bit to fit the angle, and then I'm going to get rid of the unwanted parts of this one as well. Now I'm going to merge all the wings. So I'm going to hold shift, select all the wings, and then merge all of them together. Now I'm going to create a mask for the wing, and then I'm going to fade it out softly. Let's use a soft brush for this, and then let's fade it out softly into the image. Let's add some color to the top part of its head. So I'm going to use a hue and saturation adjustment layer, and then I'm going to colorize it. Let's change it to color blue, a very light blue, and then let's darken it a little bit, and then I'm going to paint it back manually onto this part to make it a little bit blue. So I'm going to paint it softly onto that part. Very nice. Now let's add some highlights and shadows to the image. So I'm going to create an exposure adjustment layer. Let's clip it to the image, and then let's make it a bit darker. So let's paint some onto the bottom part of the image to give it more of a rounded look. This looks fine, and then let's just add a little bit of highlight to the top part of the image. So with the new exposure adjustment layer, let's clip it to the image, and then with this one, let's brighten it up a little bit, and then let's invert the mask and paint it back softly onto the image, and then let's paint some highlight onto the top part. And now let's place it into a very nice background. And then for the background, I have this beautiful image of a sky with a cloud. Let's expand it a little bit and place it behind our beautifully designed Twitter bird. Now we are going to place it this way, and then let's blur it a little bit. So come to filter, blur, and then I'm going to use Gaussian blur, and then let's just blur it out a little bit. So let's just click OK, and there you have it, a realistic version of the Twitter bird, beautifully created in Photoshop. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and if you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, because I post videos just like this and detailed tutorials every week, and you don't want to miss them. Never stop creating, and I'll see you in my next video.